everyone, welcome to Lipstick on a Rig. Today we're going to be making this beanie. For this project I'm going to be using size 4 medium weight acrylic yarn, and this is just the Big Twist Value brand. I'm also going to be using a size F or 5 crochet hook. I went ahead and crocheted a brim that is 25 stitches deep and roughly 18 inches wide. And if you haven't already, then check the links in the description and you will find the precursor to this video, which is my how to make a beanie brim tutorial video. So check the links in the description for that. And once you have your brim in place, then go ahead and connect the two edges like I show you in that video. So from here, you're just going to want to fold your brim up to create a double brim. And in the process, you're going to be hiding that ridge that was created when you combine the two edges together. So I went ahead and sectioned off my brim into 4 different sections. So the way that I did that was I just placed a stitch marker on the opposite side of my crochet hook, and then I folded it in half and placed a stitch marker in these 2 sides here, like that. So I'm going to tuck my starting tail in between my brim here, just like that, so that when I get back around, I am hiding that starting tail. And so from here, what you're going to want to do is place a slip stitch in a corresponding stitch on your opposite edge from where your crochet hook is. And then from here, we're going to chain 2. So moving forward, we're going to place 20 double crochets in each of our sections here so that we have a total of 80 double crochets. 81 if you count this chain 2 here. So while we're doing that, we are going to crochet these 2 edges together. And as you can see, we don't have traditional stitches, so you're just going to want to find loops on the edge here that you can place your double crochets. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to find 2 corresponding loops on these 2 edges and place my double crochet. So go ahead and repeat that process, going all the way along your edges, trying to place your double crochets as evenly as you can, and the goal would be to place 20 in each of your sections. And when you get to the end of your row, you should have a total of 81 stitches if you include your chain 2 stitch here. So now we're going to follow a continuous loop pattern, which means we won't be starting and stopping each individual row. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a front post stitch around our chain 2. So what you're going to want to do is yarn over and then insert your crochet hook up around the stem of your stitch here. So this is not the V portion of your stitch. And from here, you're just going to yarn over and then pull through that post. Then you're going to yarn over and drop 2 loops and yarn over and drop 2 more, just like you would for a double crochet. So for the next stitch, we're going to place a back post stitch. And that's really similar to a front post stitch. All you have to do is yarn over and then working your way from the back to the front, you're going to crochet around this post. So you're just going to yarn over and pull through the post and then yarn over and drop 2 loops and yarn over and drop 2 more. So now what we're going to do is we are going to continue following that pattern of alternating between a front post stitch and a back post stitch for the rest of our row. And when you get to the end of your row, you should end on a front post stitch so that you have 2 front post stitches in a row. So starting on your next row, all you're going to want to do is just reverse it. Or you can think about it like this, where you're just going to continue alternating. So you just ended on a front post stitch, so now you're going to place a back post stitch. So in every stitch from your previous row where you had a front post stitch will now be a back post stitch. And the back post stitches will now be front post stitches. So you're just going to continue following that pattern, alternating between front and back post stitches, and then making sure that on each row that these are actually switching for the individual stitches. I went ahead and placed 16 rows of this alternating between front and back post stitches, and it looks something like this. So now all you're going to want to do is cut and tie off your yarn. And next you're just going to want to cut a strand of yarn that is about 2 feet in length. And what we're going to do is we're going to weave this strand of yarn around the edge here at the top of our beanie. So I suggest starting somewhere near your end tail, and all you're going to want to do is just weave this strand of yarn about every inch or so, maybe even 1.5 inches, in between these stitches at the very top of your beanie. And you are going to have to make sure that you don't accidentally pull this yarn all the way through, so sometimes it can be helpful to kind of hold on to the tail. And once you're done weaving this all the way around your edge and your 2 tails are sort of close to each other, go ahead and grab both ends of your strand of yarn and pull them really tight. And keep in mind that your yarn can break if you pull it too tight, so you just have to find a good balance there. And what you're going to want to do is just tie these two ends together so that this creates a really tiny hole at the top of your beanie. And I usually tie it together about 3 times. And then just for added security, I like to tie my ending tail to this yarn strand here, like this, a couple of times. And then from here, we're just going to hide these tails inside the beanie. And if you're not going to be attaching a pom-pom to it, then you can just cut them sort of short. But if you are, then I suggest leaving them long because they make great anchors to attach your pom-pom to. And in case you're interested, I will be linking to my DIY pom-pom maker in the description. It only costs about $4 to make, and it makes a really nice pom-pom. Please let me know in the comments below if you experienced any issues while you were making this, and I will do my best to help you out. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Lipstick on a Rig. Thank you so much for working with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.